Have you ever watched a movie and thought, wow, that villain is so obviously evil? But in real life, manipulation is often much more subtle, almost invisible. Abusers are masters of illusion, skilled at twisting reality until you start to question your own mind. It's a scary thought, but understanding their tactics is the first step to breaking free. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the psychological games abusers play to control how others see them, and more importantly, how they make their victims see themselves. This isn't about pointing fingers. It's about shedding light on the darkness so we can all find our way to healthier relationships. Let's start with one of the most common and confusing tactics. The term comes from a 1938 play, and later, a film, where a husband manipulates his wife into thinking she is losing her mind by subtly dimming their gas-powered lights and then denying it. Happening in real life, it's just as disorienting. An abuser might say something hurtful, and then, when you confront them, they'll say, "I never said that. You're imagining things," or "You're being too sensitive." They systematically deny your reality, making you doubt your memory, your perception, and even your sanity. It's a slow erosion of your confidence. You start to think, maybe I am crazy. Maybe I am overreacting. That's the goal. By making you distrust yourself, they make you more dependent on them for your sense of reality. Next up is the charm offensive, also known as love bombing. When you first meet them, they might seem like the perfect partner. They shower you with attention, affection, and gifts. They tell you everything you've ever wanted to hear. It feels like a fairy tale. But this intense, overthought adoration isn't genuine. It's a strategy. They're creating a powerful, positive image of themselves in your mind. This initial phase is crucial because later, when the abuse starts, you'll cling to the memory of that perfect person. You'll think, but they can be so loving. This isn't the real them. Love bombing creates a deep emotional bond and a sense of obligation, making it incredibly difficult to leave when their behavior changes. It's a trap, baited with affection. Another tactic is isolating you from your support system. An abuser knows that your friends and family are your lifeline. They are the ones who can offer a different perspective and confirm that what you re-experiencing is you and a normal or okay. So, the abuser works to cut those ties. It might start small. They might complain about how much time you spend with your friends or create drama every time you have plans. They might say things like, "Your family doesn't really like me," or "Your friends are a bad influence." They want to become the center of your universe, the only voice you hear. When you're isolated, you're more vulnerable and easier to control. You lose your external reality check, and their distorted view becomes your only reality. Then there's the master manipulation of public perception. Abusers are often incredibly charming and well-liked in public. They might be the life of the party, a pillar of the community, or a devoted family person to the outside world. This creates a powerful duality. Behind closed doors, they are a completely different person. This public facade serves two purposes. First, it makes it harder for you to leave. You think, "No one would ever believe me. They all think he's so wonderful." Second, if you do speak out, they can use their public reputation to discredit you. People will rush to their defense, saying, "I can't imagine them ever doing something like that." This is called flying monkeys, where the abuser recruits others, often unintentionally, to do their bidding and further torment the victim. Abusers also use DARVO, which stands for deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. It's a common response when they're confronted about their behavior. Let's break it down. First, they deny the abuse ever happened. "I didn't do that." Then, they attack you for bringing it up. "How dare you accuse me? You're the one with the problem." Finally, they reverse the roles of victim and offender. Suddenly, they are the victim, and you are the abuser. They'll say you're the one who is controlling, manipulative, or emotionally unstable. They are the one who is being hurt by your false accusations. This tactic is incredibly effective at shutting down conversation and making you feel guilty and confused. You end up apologizing to the person who hurt you. Another subtle but powerful tactic is shifting blame. Nothing is ever their fault. If they get angry, it's because you provoked them. If they fail at something, it's because someone else sabotaged them. If you're unhappy in the relationship, it's because you're too demanding or ungrateful. They are masters at avoiding accountability. By constantly making everything your fault, they chip away at your self-esteem and make you feel responsible for their abusive behavior. You start to believe that if you could just be better, prettier, or quieter, the abuse would stop. But the truth is, the abuse is never your fault. It is always a choice made by the abuser. They also control perception through what's called intermittent reinforcement. This is the same principle that makes slot machines so addictive. You don't get a reward every time, but you get one just often enough to keep you playing. In a relationship, this looks like a cycle of abuse, followed by periods of kindness or remorse. After a terrible fight, they might apologize profusely, buy you gifts, and promise to change. This is the love-bombing tactic, making a comeback. This cycle of good times and bad times creates a powerful psychological hook called a trauma bond. You become addicted to the highs of the good periods, and you endure the lows in the hope that things will get better. You're not staying for the abuse. You're staying for the hope of a reward that is always just out of reach. Let's also talk about their use of language. They are masters of wordplay. They'll use minimizing language, saying things like, "It was just a joke," or "I was only kidding," to downplay Gigich hurtful actions. They'll use circular conversations or word salad to confuse you and derail any attempt at a serious discussion. You'll walk away from a conversation feeling exhausted and like nothing was resolved, which was in the intention. They might also make vague threats, hinting at consequences without saying them outright, which keeps you in a constant state of anxiety. It's a way to maintain control without leaving obvious evidence of threats. Recognizing these tactics is a monumental step. It's like learning a new language. Language of manipulation. Once you understand it, you can't unsee it. You start to notice the patterns in their behavior, the contradictions in their words, and the emotional toll it's taking on you. It validates your feelings and confirms that you are not the crazy one. You are being manipulated. If any of this sounds familiar, please know you are not alone, and help is available. The most important thing you can do is to start rebuilding your support system. Reach out to a trusted friend, a family member, or a professional counselor. They can offer you the outside perspective and support you need. Documenting incidents, if it's safe to do so, can also be helpful. Write down what happened, when it happened, and how it made you feel. This can help you see the patterns more clearly and counteract the effects of gaslighting. Breaking free from a manipulative relationship is a process, and it's okay to ask for help. There are organizations and hotlines dedicated to helping people in your situation. They can provide resources, safety planning, and a listening ear. Remember, your perception is valid. Your feelings are real. You deserve a relationship built on trust, respect, and honesty, not control and illusion. Acknowledging the truth is the first brave step toward reclaiming your reality and your life. Thank you for watching, and please take care of yourself.